Tri-State Line-X. In the shop today we have a 2009 Hummer H3T Alpha Edition, and what we're going to do to this truck is we're going to throw a Zone 2-inch leveling kit on the front of it to give it a little extra ground clearance, possibly fit some larger tires later on. Let's get to work. So on the Hummer H3s, they have what's called a torsion bar set up, and it's not exactly ideal if you're trying to do big lifts, but for this leveling kit, it's going to work out just fine. It should be a fairly straightforward install. So we've got two torsion bars, one here and one over here tucked up underneath some skid plates. And then basically what we're doing is we're going to be replacing these turn keys up here, and all it's going to be is just taking these two bolts, we're going to bring them right out, put the new Zone keys in there, crank these bolts back up, and we should have a new ride height for the front of the truck. Now, I am going to explain why we are going with the Zone keys here at the end of the video, because I know there's a little bit of back and forth between different Hummer owners as to just cranking up the factory keys versus getting aftermarket ones. So we'll touch on that at the end. All right, so we're outside now. The truck is all finished up. We got the lift kit on there, and honestly, this Hummer is looking pretty good right now. A few reasons why we actually put this Zone off-road kit on the truck. The first one is, a few years back, we had a stock Hummer H3, the SUV version, and we tried to go the route where we just cranked the stock torsion keys. And basically what happened when we did that was we pretty much put this whole suspension, as far as the torsion bars, at full bind. So it made for a really rigid, stiff, very uncomfortable ride, and it was just a very unpleasant vehicle to drive. So what we ended up doing was we did some searching around. We found the Zone off-road keys, and we put those on that truck, and the whole thing, it ran great. So we wanted to do that here for this Hummer H3T Alpha. We put the keys on there. We've driven it around a few times just to make sure we got the alignment all set and correct. And honestly, it rides like it did from the factory. So this is a pretty smooth riding truck. We also actually went ahead and replaced the shocks on here, because obviously the shocks on here are about 10 years old from the factory, so they were pretty clapped out, and obviously they were pretty awful. So we've got some high-performance Fox racing shocks. They're the 2.0 series with the aluminum bodies. We're able to actually push this truck a lot harder off-road because these shocks can handle a lot more abuse, and they can also dissipate heat a lot faster with the aluminum bodies. Also, one other thing to mention about cranking the stock keys all the way up is that you're actually going to prematurely wear out the torsion bars themselves, and you could see yourself having a little bit more of expensive repair later on down the road. So I want to give a huge shout out to the guys over at Tri-State Line-X over in Angola, Indiana. Their whole staff is a bunch of experts on the off-road industry, and they have all sorts of accessories and things to build your rig the way you want it for off-road use. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys next time.